side made it through the vetoes this time around. The teamless Terran player, Semper.
And his opponent here in the upper left, in the red, TriGGER, he is TriGGeR.
Interestingly enough, opening up with the gateway on the low ground here, something that you can do on this map, because there's a little ramp leading up to it, and it makes you a little bit safer against any sort of Hellion play a little further down the line. Yeah, so I'm expecting TriGGeR to open up this series. Like I said, confidently. I think something that he's a big fan of and that he has practiced is blink openings. But he's also told me that that he is fine taking this game to whatever stage it needs to. He said the words that he chose were, "I beat him in standard." So I don't think he feels the need to cheese around, but maybe with just a bit of blink aggression here, starting this one off, that's how I expect it to go.
Well, I mean, I don't know if blink aggression is the play here in this game, because it looks like Semper, he's opening himself up for a 3-Rax play early on. We do, of course, see it's a Marine into Reactor. And that, again, generally does sell this idea of early Marine aggression. That's kind of how that one tends to work. So we're going to have to see whether that's what Semper goes for, whether he says, I mean, he is only a 1 gas, so I think that's what's going to happen. He may, of course, opt to go 1-1-1. And there we go, factory is underway, so never mind. Never lucky. You try to make a read, and the read's wrong. In fact, you find out that you're illiterate. And then, well, that's when the problems really begin.
That's a tough thing, finding that out after living on this earth for 27 years. I never knew I was, but maybe, yeah, it looks like I'm a bit better on the prediction here, as we see the Twilight Cancel coming down for TriGGeR, which indicates the blink coming up, and yeah, I like this. From both players, really. Both players haven't been thrown off of their game plan just yet, and Semper looks like he does go into the Hellion production. So maybe if there's a starport anytime soon, he can. Yeah, okay, the starport is coming down now. So with the starport coming down, maybe he wants to ferry some units into the main base of TriGGeR and bring the aggression. There's really no. I guess you could stop at 1 Hellion here and just use it for scouting, but my initial thought was he definitely wants to bring the pressure over to the Protoss side.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. Any sort of early Marine or any sort of early Hellion production is always, you're going to try to get something done, but of course, this is only 1 Hellion for the time being, which means that realistically, it's not really a big pressure build. It's, you have a little bit of spare production, you got the minerals to spare, so you build a Hellion, you try to find some scouts off. At the very least, you get a scout. See, okay, well, let's see what you got. Especially in this game where there was no Reaper. And when there's no Reaper, you don't really have that early game scouting unless we see, you know, Semper do something like we saw Pure Legacy do last night, where he did, of course, scan the main base before Paddingback went into the macro game. So, you know, that's not great. That's 250 minerals that you'd rather be mining for yourself. A Hellion is a lot cheaper.
Yeah, he didn't get the full scout, but he saw the robo in the front of the wall, which at this stage is just really part of the blink build. I expect him to just stay defensively here with the 3rd base already in production. He's producing tanks, he's producing a Raven, so really just wants to sit here defensively for a second, and yep, even puts down another bunker in the main ground and in the main base, and another bunker in the natural as well. So just really wants to make sure that this blink play won't deal any crippling damage to him, and with the setup that he has, I don't think it will.
Yeah, I mean, this is 4-gate blink, though, so if there ever is a blink opportunity that TriGGeR is going to make work, it is going to be this one. And Oh, I love this. So he's got one Zealot in the War Prism, right? So notice, he's going to put the Zealot on the high ground, have that eat the tank shot first and foremost whenever he wants to do so, but now he's going to find his way onto the left side of the main base. Is he going to get the Raven? He will not. But there we go. Now the tank fire is there. Stark's blink on top of it. They're not going to eat a second tank shot. Great move here from TriGGeR. And now that means he's going to be able to find a little bit of a bounty. Great War Prism micros. Well, the Raven is going to take some damage. Stalkers, they're going to be zoned out just a little bit. They will not be able to take that engagement on top of that tank now that there are two tanks in the main base. In fact, actually, looks like TriGGeR says he's done. He's like, look, I've done enough damage here. My Warp Prism, I'm not going to warp in anymore. That being said, interesting. He canceled it, then didn't. Oh, the tank's not going to go down. So that's the second tank shot that he's going to eat. And at this point, realistically, well, I'm sorry, is Stim done? Oh, Stim's not even started.
Oh, Stim is not even started. The third base behind this is going up for TriGGeR, so he can transition out of this anytime, but he's already done tremendous damage, and yeah, he goes forward one more time, blinks on top of the last remaining tank, takes out the Raven now, and man, those are the power units that you need as a Terran to deal with this. The bunker in the main base going down, and Semper really scrapping for the defense here, pulls more and more SCVs into it, and it's just not looking good. He's losing so many, and behind this, TriGGeR is just probing up. He doesn't need to finish this game, but he probably can. There's just nothing coming out of these barracks. The Marines are low quality. They don't have Stim, they don't have combat shields. The tanks did go down one by one. The Raven didn't get all that much value. Man, just like that, I thought the setup for Semper was enough, but a TriGGeR finds the opening, goes without fear, blinks forward, takes out the first tank, goes back for a second, goes for it once again, and just like that, takes the game.
Yeah, he pulled the trigger on that build, and it worked out for him well indeed. Yeah, I was in the same. I'm like, look, it's 3 tanks. He's got a bunkers. It's good. But I mean, Semper, he went a little bit too greedy. This was 3 CC play against a 4-gate blink, and I mean, TriGGeR. No one has ever accused him of not having a killer instinct. In fact, it's kind of fun. TriGGeR, the first time people anyway really took notice was when he played the EPT Cup at, I want to say he was 16, like the youngest he could, and he goes and he's been playing StarCraft for like a year and a half, and he beats Parting. So now he's just taking a page out of Parting's book. 4-gate blink. He says, okay, well, you know what? I beat him, so I might as well join him now. It's almost like what that saying goes. So we're gonna have to see. It's another big map here for map number 2. It will be 2,000 atmospheres. And are we going to see that level of rampant aggression? Or does Semper find a way to stay a little bit safer? What do you think, Vitamin? 2011.
I'm kind of hoping for the 2-0, man. The first game here was very convincing. I like the confidence coming out of TriGGeR. So yeah, I'm hoping for him to close it out and build even more confidence out of these big tournament games.
Okay, we have the TriGGeR stand in Vitamin. We're going to have to see whether that happens, whether we get a game number 3, because we have game number 2. It's ready. And in the upper right here in the blue. He's down 1 game in this series. Can he take it to game number 3? The teamless Terran. Give it up, folks, for Semper.
And in the bottom left of 2,000 atmospheres, looking incredibly strong on that first map. Can he just close it out like this? For Team Alpha X, we have TriGGeR. And he will be facing a proxy barracks this time around, which he will get confirmation on rather soon. Probe makes it into the base of the Terran player, sees double gas being mined from, sees no barracks, so he's aware that something fishy is going on, and his reaction to this is, okay, I'm going to build my cybernetics core before I even think about taking my nexus, and I'm also going to build Zealot just so that I have some unit in the very early start of the game to make sure I don't take crippling damage here.
Oh, this is such a Semper move here. I don't think it's going to get up. Yeah, the STV will go down. Nice job there, but this is such a Semper move. You've heard of eBay blocks, right? You say, this seems like a great idea. Well, what if I build a bunker? Oh, he's going to let it die.
No,
That's
cancel.
a problem. That's 100 minerals down. The idea, right, is you go for, it's kind of the best of both worlds of a Reaper bunker behind the mineral line and an eBay block. That being said, it actually was disastrous as both the bunker and the SCV did go down. Now, we are starting to see a little bit of Reaper damage. from this Reaper here, and it looks like 3 probes should be the tally, because I mean, honestly, this is not handled the best by TriGGeR. What you do is you just kind of click the Zealot on the Reaper, and the Reaper just never has the build time to go make something happen. But 3 probes are going to die at the end of the day, and yeah, I think Semper's pretty happy with that, despite the fact that he lost that bunker.
Yeah, 3 probes were dying to that first Reaper. You're absolutely happy as a Terran player there. But now it's not an unplayable position for either player, but now it's just really up to TriGGeR to figure out what the follow-up to this is. Obviously, he knows about the proxy Reaper part now, but he doesn't know that there's an expansion coming behind this. So if he wanted to be really safe against a potential one base play or something, he would probably just go for a robo, produce an immortal or an observer for potential Widowmine drops, but he doesn't seem as afraid because he just goes for the Twilight once again. Opens up Blink. We have yet to see if it's going to be another 4-gate with the huge aggression coming out of him.
Yeah, so I mean, this is going to be a 2-base build here from Semper at the very least. He realizes that, yeah, you know what, look, if I proxy a Reaper, I am probably not going to have what I need to be able to defend a low ground of against really anything. It looks like the Widowmine got a kill on something. Yeah, the Zealot ran across the map, and the Widowmine did get that one. But you got to build a base on the high ground. All right, any sort of aggression early on, it will cause problems. So you build on the high ground. Semper's there. He is getting that second barracks. It's kind of in a 2-on-1 setup. So probably +1 stim combat shield timing. We will see that third barracks go down eventually, and I love this from TriGGeR. You said, oh, are we going to see 4-gate Blink again? Well, yes and no, and that is not Blink. He might be 4 gates, but he's going charge very early in this game, and this is brilliant, right? Because what is the build that really Estrella and Skillus and Hellraiser players like that first started doing to beat these +1 stim combat shield timings? Vitamin?
I mean, that charge is going to be working out great for him here. Terran player won't be expecting the charge that early, and that just sacrifices a stalker there to the mine just in order to clean it up. But yeah, all of these tank pushes, if the Zealots get on top of them quickly, that's just not what you want to play against as the Terran.
Yeah, no, it's really not. I mean, that is the kind of the entire idea behind this build that we do have TriGGeR going for, where you don't get a lot of gas. You generally stay on right around 3 gas. You just get a lot of charge lots. And the moment the Terran player moves out of the map, there's just a lot of tanky, beefy units that are going to be able to get on top of these Marines that are still rather, squishy because they don't really have any armor upgrades yet. You get on top of the tanks really quickly, and you just absolutely swarm the Terran. That big push they're looking for is slapped aside, and then you can do whatever you want. So, actually, this is a nice scan here from Semper. He will see the Zealots warping in, and generally, Protoss player is not going to be warping his Zealots right now, unless it is for charge tech. So, Semper should have a somewhat decent idea of what TriGGeR is going for in this game, but having an idea of what he's going for does not exactly correlate to being able to deal with it just yet.
Yeah, we have him try to get some info on TriGGeR now with these Widowmine drops. Obviously, these Widowmine drops, they can deal damage, but it's also just a great scouting tool to figure out what the Protoss has. And looks like a late reaction there with more pro. Oh, that was kind of lucky for TriGGeR. It was late on the pull there, but only lost for probes. So that could have been a lot worse for him.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. TriGGeR, he has very good map vision, by the way, just so we make this clear. I mean, look how much he's got, but it's all on the left side of the map here. He's got observers, he's got pylons. He was not going to be taken for a ride on any drop coming on in through the fully left half of the map. But Semper says, okay, well, I'm just going to go through the right-hand side. How's about that? How's them apples? And unfortunately, TriGGeR, he only has oranges, so that's not really going to work out for him. But Semper, he actually, yeah, I like this response. He kind of realizes that Zealots are the play. It's just going to be this big charge lot, Immortal, maybe some Blink Stalkers type of composition, very gateway heavy. So what's he going to do? He's going to take his third base. He's going to turtle up a little bit. He's just never going to move out on the map until he's past that 150, 160 supply mark, which is where the Protoss army starts to age out just a little bit. And this is how you do it, right? You say, look, the charge lot build, it's going to run out of time. Okay, well, I'm just going to make it run out of time. I'm going to wait for it.
Yeah, So what he's doing here right now is not super committed. He's leaving his tanks at home. He's just moving out onto the map with a bit of bio, a couple of medevacs, and a couple of widow mines. Which is as long as you're not fighting too close to blink stalkers that can get on top of the medevacs, is something that can usually always get out. But oh, now these two armies are meeting, and Semper a bit unprepared. The mines are burrowing, so he gets the retreat here. But yeah. That's the scariest part of all of this, is getting caught in the middle of the map. But oh, once again another widow mine drop, and this time this one gets 8 probes. This is man, TriGGeR really needs to do a better job of dealing with this. But he is a bit occupied on the other side of the map, has the warp prism in the Terran base and a bunch of zealots there. But the tanks being left at home, TriGGeR is going to be forced to evacuate this position.
Yeah, one of the downsides of a Terran player being on 2 bases is it's really hard to do damage against them. They're just going to be able to rotate around as they need to. So now TriGGeR started to realize that this composition that he has, it has an expiration date. So he's adding on 2 additional gases, going up to 5 now. He's getting Storm underway, 1-1. And it's all just a little bit late. I wish he could have realized the way this game was going a couple minutes earlier. Then he would be on time with the upgrades. And just, if you're ahead on upgrades, right, with this composition that TriGGeR has gone for, you're actually going to be in a pretty great position, right? You're going to be able to beat a lot of the bio army. Your timing is delayed a good bit, but because of this, because he's dead behind on upgrades, soon to be by 2 upgrades, that makes life rather difficult indeed. But you know what? Vitamin Storms don't care about they don't care about upgrades at all. So now we're gonna have TriGGeR look to move on in. Nice idea here with the supply depots, trying to eat with the AI. So that, well, a couple big tank shots are gonna go off, but the tanks are now gonna go on down. How many storms do we have left? I think the answer is 1, and we're going to see the command center get lifted here. Just allow for Semper to have even more of a concave. I'm not sure that TriGGeR breaks this.
Yeah, he had a bit of an opportunity there. The tanks were sieged up, but they were all a bit clustered. So great start to the fight with the storm drops, forces the orbital command to lift off. So he doesn't get the kill there, but at least gets a bit of a denial. And yes, Semper feels even he feels threatened enough to just take the 3rd base at the other location, because I guess he's yeah, he doesn't want to take it in the original position, because that's where TriGGeR just almost broke him. But TriGGeR way ahead of him, it seems, as he's already rotating his army to the north side of the map here. And there's still 2 High Templars in the warp prism. We do have ghosts now, so it's all about control at this point.
Yeah, now TriGGeR's about to hit a nice spike where he is equal in upgrades again. He's got 1-1 done, and here's the thing. He has had such a better economy in this game for so long that he can afford 2-2 immediately. He can go double Robo, Disruptor, Colossus, whatever he wants to go for. And even as Semper takes this 3rd base, because Semper takes this 3rd base so late, TriGGeR is going to continue with that significant economic advantages. Of course, the main base is only on 5 mineral patches. Some of these are just about to mine out. But hold that thought here. Okay, TriGGeR's not really going for a fight, just a little bit of a run by. And what we're going to see him do now is just go and try to shark around, keep his opponent back, keep him a little bit scared. I mean, maybe if he gets a great fight, he's going to take that fight. But in general, this is all about keeping Semper from really developing himself. That EMP is going to be fantastic. Even before enhanced shockwaves are done, no storms in this army anymore. And now TriGGeR cannot take this fight.
Yeah, TriGGeR's still significantly up in supply, and you've mentioned this. He's free to transition right now. He's getting the double transition, double Colossus transition on the way before Semper even has a 2nd starport. And if he can build up to like 4 Colossus with the extended thermal lands before Semper transitions into those Vikings, it's going to be so hard for the Terran to take a good fight. And I like it here from TriGGeR. He's still posturing. He's still pretending like he's really strong. But meanwhile, the really big punch of the army is going to come in about 2 minutes when he has the Colossus count.
I mean, he is really strong. So, you know, he's not even just quoting from Sun Tzu without any understanding. He is very strong here on the map. He just can't attack into his opponent. And if he allows Semper to really take a sieged up position, that's also going to be scary. So, again, what he's doing here, he's forcing the fight in the middle of the map if it does happen. It looks like we had a drop, found its way, Liberator, I guess. Found its way on into the 3rd base. 3 workers did go down in the exchange. But now, I mean, Semper, for the first time in a while, he's got a significant portion of his army on the map. He's going to siege up this base. And actually, that's going to be a kill, not a cancel. So TriGGeR, he's going to take some damage. Lost a couple workers. He lost a base, but now he's been trying to get this run by into his opponent's base for like the last 5 minutes, and now there's actually an opportunity for that to happen. And we have now TriGGeR. He's going to try to take this fight. Nice EMPs, but every EMP that is not on a ghost is almost a wasted one at this point. Of course, you talked about 4 Colossus. We are only on 2. It's just 2 into disruptors, because I think TriGGeR saw that this was actually there. I mean, there were already some Vikings out on the field. So, you know, he's trying to make this happen, but you're not going to give it too hard to it when there's already +1 air attack, when there are already Vikings on the field. That being said, Semper, his upgrades are very late. He does not have any +2 armor, not +3 attack. So TriGGeR's got a 1 upgrade lead, and it's just that is just going to continue to grow.
EMPs all over that army, but there is still 2 storms in that. The ghosts are really trying hard to get the EMP there. Yeah, no more storms in that army, so that makes TriGGeR back off for just a second. But now we have another source of splash damage. We have these disruptors, and it's going to be so hard for Semper to engage into that. Yeah, the disruptor shot's not huge for the time being, but getting a couple of ghosts here and there is nice. And now he's being chased away to this 5th base location. And yeah, the quality of this army with only 1 Colossus, with the disruptor shots being used, is not insane. So Semper can make something happen here.
I don't know why Semper is just kind of morally opposed to taking his armor upgrades. He has double eBay, right? Oh, yeah, okay. He's only has 1 eBay. So yeah, he's just kind of all in on this 3. I mean, he's taking a 4th, but he's kind of tech all in here, and that means that TriGGeR, he just needs this game to wait a little bit. He's got his 5th base just about done. This one has been allowed to finish. He's got 3 underway, so he's going to have a 3 upgrade lead rather soon. And yeah, you know, with all these spellcasters in this game, does that matter as much as, say, a TPZ? No. But it's still extremely important, and it still does provide a lot of sticking power with this army, a lot of damage with this army. His nice EMPs are going to go on off here. The army's going to get zoned out by a couple of these disruptors. Please kill off those ghosts, TriGGeR. He won't. And actually, he's going to lose his other Colossus to these Vikings on the right-hand side. So now it is just Charge Lot, Blink Stalker, Disruptor, which it's a powerful army, but it doesn't have a lot of consistent DPS anymore.
Oh yeah, he cannot get baited into engaging onto that planetary. They could get completely surrounded, but TriGGeR realizing this back and off. Well, now, he engages into this very small choke point. These Zealots having a bit of a hard time getting on top of the bio, and yet bleeding out lots of buffer. But meanwhile, on the big DT warping on the 3rd base of Semper, these DTs do not have blink yet, so they will be eventually cleaned up, but it's going to at least cost him another scan, and this already took Semper a lot of attention away from the main army that is now once again trying to pounce on this planetary fortress.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Disruptor shot's gonna go. Oh, he's gonna get 11 SCVs just like that. Now that means this base is dead. No more repairs, no more survival here. The base is dead. 11 SCVs have gone down, and the question now is how much? It's not gonna be enough. GG TriGGeR. He takes it 2-0, and really, now he can tell his own story. Now he can write his own story.